Okay, so hi, welcome to my bookish wrap 2025. I originally had two videos up. The other one was like 30 minutes long. The quality was really bad and the audio was really bad, so that was making me mad. So we're not gonna do that. But in this video, I'm just gonna go into my my 6-star reads of 2025, and just kind of like some bookish opinions that I had, goals for next year, and yeah. So right off the bat, a 6-star read was the Boys of Tommen series by Chloe Walsh. This is a series set in Ireland, and it basically just follows like a friend group as each individual person works through their past and present like problems, usually with mental health or some kind of like abuse or some kind of mental issue. Um, I think firstly, if you're going to read these, look up the trigger warnings because, like I mentioned, it talks about things like abuse, alcoholism, addiction, like really, really heavy topics. And I really think it's important to know what you're going into so you don't get triggered. Like, I was okay with reading it, but that doesn't mean everybody else is. And I think it's just important that you don't read this if it will make you feel bad or bring up past memories. But we're going to start off. Binding 13 is the first book. It's about a couple named Johnny and Shannon. I think it was a really, really strong start to the series. It hooked me immediately. It was so easy to read, like in terms of writing style. That one is one of my favorites. It had an amazing slow burn, and I'm a slow burn lover, so that was amazing. Keeping 13 was also really good. It kept like the same kind of tone. I think the events were very equal. It was actually really good. Like, my problem with most second books is that it's not as good. So that one was really good. And then this is my personal favorite out of the series, other than Binding 13. It's Saving Six. So this is about Shannon's older brother Joey and his like love interest Aoife. And I just really, really like this book. I have no idea why. I think it was so interesting, though, is how Shannon and Joey came from the same household, but they have completely different relationships with their partners. So Johnny and Shannon's was a little more cute. It was a little more tame. These two were definitely more intense. So yeah, but this book actually made me cry. Like, I was crying around the end. The ending was the amount of things that these characters go through is absolutely insane. Like, I don't want to spoil it because I want people to read this without it being spoiled. But this was really good. And then it goes into Redeeming Six, which is the second book to that one. That one was actually really good. It actually took two of my least favorite tropes. Well, no, one of my least favorite tropes, and it actually made it bearable. That's all I'm going to say about that. It was really, really good. The ending was amazing. Oh no, wait. Is that a spoiler? Whatever. The ending was I'm trying not to spoil it. And then we go into Taming Seven, and for this one, it was a huge testament to two of the characters, Johnny and Gibbsy's like bromance. Their moments kind of brought light into the darker issues, and Gibbsy is one of the characters who uses humor to kind of hide his like problems and stuff. So I thought that was really good. My problem was just with Claire, who is the female main character in that one. Her point of views to me just came off as a little juvenile and a little like underdeveloped, but Gibbsy's were really, really good. Also, I really loved like the Joey, Gibbsy, Johnny like friend group trio thing we had going on there. Those were absolutely, I was laughing so hard. The ending made me cry again. This book has caused a lot of tears this year. That book made me really not like one of the characters, Lizzie, at the end. But then with releasing 10, which was Lizzie and Huey's book, Chloe Walsh somehow redeemed Lizzie in my eyes. Like, not fully, but it explained her actions. It just didn't excuse them, if you know what I mean. I didn't connect as much with the characters in this one, but this book was still phenomenal. I'm really excited for Feeling 12, which is two of the other characters, which is Feely and Katie. But I think the next one is going to be another 7 book, and then another 10 book, and then we're getting Feeling 12. So I'm a little bit sad for that, but one of my biggest hear me outs is Tig Lynch. I'm just going to leave it at that. I really, really love all like the little kind of interconnected moments. So these books have a really interesting timeline is they have a timeline and then each book takes place at a different time and some of them overlap. So when they do overlap, you're like, oh my gosh, like I know this moment and I get to read about it from another character's point of view. So I think the timeline's actually really, really interesting and it's a really unique element to this book. So the next two books are both from a new favorite author of mine, who's Anne Liang. So the first one is I Hope This Doesn't Find You. So this is kind of like To All the Boys I've Loved Before, but if Lara Jean wrote brutally honest emails instead of love letters, and then they got sent out. It's academic rivals to lovers, pretty slow burn, but I really, really loved this book. It was so easy to read, and the characters were amazing. Like, Sadie was so relatable. I find all of Anne Liang's main characters, like especially the female main characters, are really, really relatable. She does that really well. Julius is acts of service. He's a little sassy sometimes. They were perfect. This book was perfect. I asked for this for my Secret Santa. My friend wrote annotations in it, and even she stopped annotating like around here because she got so invested in the book and she forgot to annotate it. So if that's not a testament to how good this book is, I don't know what else is. Another 5-star read, also by Anne Liang, was If You Could See the Sun. So it's about this girl and she can turn invisible, but it's like really random, and then she needs money, so she uses her invisibility as like a service to kind of like expose secrets and do like jobs. It's kind of like the less intense version of Gossip Girl. Again, academic rivals to lovers. Main character, she was really relatable, as all of Anne Liang's main characters are. The guy is Henry Lee. He was perfect. He kind of reminded me of Minho from XO Kitty, but like a little bit better, you know? So that one was really, really good. She's writing a spin-off, which is called If You Could See the Moon, which is about Alice, who's the girl main character's best friend, and I'm really, really excited for that one because she said this one has the most yarn in it. So I'm really excited for that. But Anne Liang books, my new favorite author. I've read every single book she's put out. It was so good, you guys. So next is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. This is the spin-off to her Shadow and Bone trilogy, but I read the first Shadow and Bone book. I wasn't a huge fan, to be honest, but I really, really loved this one. I loved this one more, to be honest. I think it's better than Shadow and Bone. So it's a heist book, and she purposely skirted like the Chosen One narrative. So there's 6 of them, hence the name. And they all have their own like backstory and motive as to why they're doing the heist. There's some romance subplots which are really, really good. I guess like there's not really a main character, as I mentioned, but like the main-ish character is Kaz. Kaz is such a broken, complicated character, and I loved this book. I just put tabs in it because there are so many like lines and iconic moments in here that I want to remember forever. But this book started my love for heist books, and it kind of set a standard that the other heist books I've read are kind of being compared to, which in retrospect isn't good, but I just really love this book. I watched the Netflix Shadow and Bone like series. I really wish they'd done a Crows spin-off because the casting for the Crows in the Netflix adaptation was absolutely phenomenal. Like, it was so good. I don't know why Netflix didn't do a Crows spin-off because I feel like a lot of people would have eaten that up, and the fan base that this Grishaverse, which is like Shadow and Bone and Six of Crows, has is probably scarier than The Fold. I'm quoting somebody I saw on the internet, but they were right. The Grishaverse has a huge fan base. I am a part of it for Six of Crows. Guys, this book, I recommended it to a teacher who liked Ocean's 11, so like heist movies, kind of James Bond maybe. Really good. It's longer chapters, but like something interesting happens that makes you want to keep reading in every single chapter. So, also they have like gambling and ADHD. I think there's a gay love story in there. Different body types, different ethnicities. So I think that was really, really well done, and it's not put to the forefront. It's just kind of an element that's there and that's kind of just accepted, and I absolutely love that. And then this one was kind of interesting because I wasn't expecting this one. But The Convenience Store by the Sea, I forget who it's by, but it's a translated Japanese fiction book, and it's basically centers around a convenience store by the sea, and like all the inhabitants who pass through it, who are regulars, and kind of their stories. And they're all like, it's a bunch of short stories, and they're all interconnected because you get to see like some of the characters from one and another. But I wasn't expecting to like this as much as I did. But it's really, really cozy, and I thought it was really, really good. Like, I don't know why I really liked this. It felt like a cozy blanket, a rainy afternoon, like a mug of tea, an egg sandwich. Like, it felt really, really cozy, and it had really good morals in it and little life lessons that could be easily applicable to real life. So I just think it's a really, really good comfort book, and it was just really, really comforting and sweet and wholesome. Very low stakes. There were like no stakes, but it's like kind of showing how people move through everyday life's challenges, and how like not everything and not everyone's life is like a huge big adventure romance story, and how sometimes struggles are a little more like mundane and everyday, and how people get through those. So I really liked that book. So the last book is another heist book. It's called To Steal from Thieves. It's set in London. I really, really liked this. It was really easy to read. There's only three people involved in this heist. I think they're trying to steal like a necklace, and there's also kind of like an alchemy. Is that it? Called how you say it? Alchemy. I think it's alchemy. I'm just gonna say it with utmost confidence and hope it's right. So there's like an alchemy aspect in it too. There's a romance subplot, which is kind of why I read most of the heist books that I liked. I think all of the heist books that I liked this year had a romance subplot. Anyways, it was really, really good. I think having three people made it really interesting because there was more ways for it to go wrong, and people had to do more. I'm not sure how this author did it, but it's set in London and kind of more in like the slums part of London, and somehow she got like the grit and the grime and just kind of like the overall like dirtiness of the setting to seep into the way you read it, and the imagery was so good. Like, I could picture everything, and it was so good. I don't know. I know a lot of people have like mixed reactions about this book, but I actually really, really love this. Again, if you like Six of Crows, Gilded Wolves, you will really like this, I think. I think it had a really amazing balance of like friendship, romance. There's a bit of like trauma addressed in there. Not as heavy as Boys of Tommen, but it was really good. I think Kane and Zarya, who are two like main coupley people, they are so broken and they were like perfect for each other. It's not spicy. The slow burn was slow burning, guys. Okay, I can't find the second book because it's a duology. I can't find it in the library, and I don't want to buy it. So I'm just like kind of waiting every day and just being like, I really hope that the library puts that in stock because I really want to finish it. Um, but yeah. So those were all my 6-star reads for 2025. I had a really good reading year this year. I read 100 books, as I mentioned. I think next year I definitely just want to focus on reading good books rather than a lot of them. But I have a bunch of new releases that are coming out that I'm really excited for. So there's a new Six of Crows book. It's called Letters from Ketterdam, and it's like letters after the end of Crooked Kingdom. Gilded Blade, which is the last Grandest Games and I think last Inheritance Games book from Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I really hope Chloe Walsh puts out another Boys of Tallman. I think there might be a Once Upon a Broken Heart novella coming out next year. If you could see the moon, which I could give you the moon, which I mentioned. I want to finish the Gilded Wolves trilogy because there's one more, and because the ending of Silvered Serpents was actually insane. I want to finish Shatter Me because I said I'd finish it in my book video that I didn't publish last year. I was like, I'm gonna finish Shatter Me. I advanced like 2 or 3 books, so I kind of should probably finish that. I want to finish the Lunar Chronicles because I have 1 book left. I have a bunch of books. Oh, I have Catabasis in order from the library for R.F. Kuang. I'm really excited to read that because it's more like dark academia. So I'm excited for that. I'd like to maybe do like a reading vlog. Oh, I know a book that I want to read. I really want to read Sunrise on the Reaping, which is Hamish's story, because I read the original trilogy of the Hunger Games. I'm going to force myself through Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, because just like I feel like I should. Um, and then I'm really, really excited to read Sunrise on the Reaping. I'm so excited. I am so pumped. I'm actually really excited for that. Because I want to read it and then I want to go watch the movie that's coming out next year. Okay, because I low-key forgot. Here were some like bookish kind of opinions and like standout series to me. So I actually finished the Caravel series because I read the first one last year, and then my dad got me the entire trilogy from a little library, so it was literally free. So I read Finale and I read Legendary this year, and I've decided on how you should read the Stephanie Garber like Magnificent North like series because of these two. So I think first read Caravel because it kind of introduces you to like the magic system a little bit. Also, that one's just really good. And then read Once Upon a Broken Heart, and then come back to these because these two you really need to be invested in the world to actually like get through them because they're a little bit harder to get through. So these were really good. I actually like Caravel the most out of the series because these two I just felt focused a little too much on Tella and Legend, and I just wasn't the hugest fan. But so there's that. And then I actually obviously started reading The Hunger Games, so we have this. Um, the first book was good. My favorite out of the entire one so far is Catching Fire. I have no clue why. I just really, really liked it. But I have Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes right now. And yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of Mockingjay. I found like some of the deaths in that one were a little bit rushed. This one's a classic. And then I'm really, really sad to say this, but this book was probably my biggest letdown of the year. Um, I'm so sorry. This is Fearless by Lauren Roberts, so it's the third book in the Powerless trilogy. And if you know me, I love the Powerless trilogy, like the first two books and the novella. They have a special place in my heart. But this book, I just can't get behind it because it has so much potential, and the other two books in the series were so good. And like, I feel like this just fell flat because like I found Peyton and Kai didn't really have like much of a personality other than liking each other, and like I didn't agree with a lot of the elements, like them like sneaking around while she's like engaged. I didn't agree with like the willow tree scene. I didn't agree with one of like the ranking choices Lauren made for one of her characters at the end of the book. I just don't think that was in line for their character. And I don't know, this book was just not as strong as the other two. And I think it's because I loved the other two so much that these two were just such like, this one was just kind of like a really big letdown for me. Nevertheless, I do like the trilogy. I haven't read Fearful yet, which is the newest novella about Kit, but maybe I'll do that in 2026. But this book wasn't the greatest for me. And then two of the worst books that I read this year were both fall romances, small town fall romances, which is kind of ironic. But the first one is Pumpkin Spice Cafe. So nothing really happened in this book. Like, there wasn't really a plot. Um, it was, I think people could argue, like, oh, it was cozy, but like, nothing really happened. There were like zero stakes. The worst book that I read this year I got for $1 at a bazaar because it had these gorgeous sprayed edges. But it's called Fall I Want. So this book was, the timeline was so unrealistic. Like, they meet, he insults her coffee because she's a barista, and then they fake date for like, no, they become friends for like 3 days, then they fake date for like a week, then they get together, then they jet off to Vegas, then they decide they're going to get married, and then their sister's a psychic, so she somehow knows that they're going to come back to the original small town and get married. I genuinely don't understand why someone would like get married after knowing each other a month. I just found it really unrealistic. I forced myself through it in like one night because I was just like, I genuinely can't do this to myself anymore and I want to read better books. So I sat till like 12, like midnight, and just read the book under my covers with the light on because it was so bad. And I was just like, I need to like end this now and then I can go and read better things. So I read ACOTAR all the way up to book like 4, and it wasn't a bad series necessarily. I just found it a little bit weird. Because, like, okay, the one thing that bothers me from ACOTAR is the amount of animalistic noises that they make. It's like purred, snarled, growled, prowled, hissed, bared their teeth. And I'm just like, so I get you have like a spiritual animal underneath your skin, like spiritually, metaphorically, whatever. Um, why are you making those noises? Because that's a little concerning for me to read. Like, why is Sir like purring every 5 minutes to her? And I'm just like, okay, this is really weird and mildly uncomfortable for me to read, but okay. Oh, I read a bunch of Lynn Painter books. So I read Better Than the Movies. That one was really good. I liked it was very like rom-com-y. I also read Betting on You. Betting on You was really, really good. But I think the best Lynn Painter book that I've read this year was Fake Skating. And I'm actually not a huge hockey romance fan, but this book was so amazing. And it was like, I read this like just in the beginning of November. So like when things are starting to look a little more like Christmassy and like wintry. Oh my gosh, guys, that book is so good. Like, you see it a lot online, and I know a lot of people read it for good reason. It was so amazing. Like, that was probably one of the best Lynn Painter books that I have ever. I Am Not Jessica Chan. That's another Anne Liang book. It was like a body switch. So like this girl switches like places with her cousin, but her cousin's like gone missing. So it's literally just her in her cousin's body, and she really looked up to her cousin. So I was like, okay, this is gonna be weird and it's gonna be cringe and it's gonna be like one of those like Hallmark movies where it's like the two main characters switch bodies. This was done really, really insightfully and relatably, and I find that so impressive that like she took something that could have been really cringe and weird and made it really, really insightful and thoughtful and like kind of deep. I really liked that. So I love You've Reached Sam, and Dustin Tao recently put out a book called You Found Oliver, which is a companion to You've Reached Sam. So one of the side characters, Oliver, obviously. But that book was really, really good because I find with a lot of like second books, if it's like with a friend group or something, and like you give a book to a side character, it can kind of dumb down their personality a little bit or like dull it down. But with Oliver, it was completely different. It's like he brought Oliver into spotlight and he kept Oliver's like personality and just like adorableness. And Oliver is so cute, you guys. He's so wholesome. I want to give him like a big hug. I do wish there were a little more like Oliver and Sam flashbacks. But it was really, really nice to see like all these characters moving on from the events of You've Reached Sam. So The Naturals is another Jennifer Lynn Barnes series, and this one is basically about how the FBI uses traumatized teenage kids to solve serial murder cold cases. That was probably the worst explanation possible I could give of that, but it's so good. Like, Jennifer Lynn Barnes graduated from Yale and she has a PhD in psychology, so her books are always insane. Was I terrified to leave the house because I thought I was going to be kidnapped by a serial killer for a while? Yes, but that is not the point because that means the book had some kind of psychological effect on me or something. I don't know. It was really good. My favorite was Bad Blood because of this like little moment we get between two characters at the very end of it, and just how like every single little detail that you kind of discarded as unimportant from the last couple books, they all added up into one big thing. Oh my gosh, guys, it's so good. Okay. So this was my 2025 book wrapped. I had a really, really good year. But yeah, I hope you guys have an amazing 2026. I hope you guys found a book that maybe seemed interesting or that you never want to read because why waste your time? But yeah, I wish you guys an amazing and bookish 2026. Okay, bye! Where the heck is it? I was trying to be cool, that really didn't